Hey, good evening, family. This is Joe checking in for No Picks Podcast. How y'all doing?
Hey, what up, family? This is Ty.
So what's up? It's Heather hanging in there from Tampa, Florida.
Hey, so family, we have a guest tonight. We're super excited. We always love different perspectives, especially love when we have women on as well to balance our perspectives out. We get a lot of men on the panels, but we're excited to have Heather here, coming in
Yeah,
from
yeah.
Florida. So that's exciting. That's cool, and yeah, I'm just stoked to have you here. So
I appreciate it. Thanks for the invite.
yeah, absolutely. So we're gonna get with it, right? All right. So tonight we're gonna talk about a recent law that when it's going to go into effect next year. It's going to raise the minimum wage in LA. So we're just going to read a snippet from the article and just see how we feel about this minimum wage increase, and then we'll go from there. Sound good?
Sounds good.
Let's
All
do it.
right, sounds good. So we got let's cue it up. So we have new California law. It says at a new law in California will raise the minimum wage for fast food workers to $20 per hour next year. An acknowledgement from the state's Democratic leaders that most of the often overlooked workforce are the primary earners for their low income households. And it's going to take effect April 1st. Fast food workers in California will have the highest guaranteed base salary in the industry. The state's minimum wage for all other workers, $15.50 per hour, is already among the highest in the United States. All right, so that's what we're here to talk about is this wage increase, right? So,
Right.
all right,
Um,
so let's open it up. How we feel about this?
All right, you go first, Heather.
what's your initial two pennies? How do you feel initially? Like, what's your knee jerk reaction? Is this great for our economy? Is this gonna put us in a bad place? What's your two pennies?
I can answer it. I'll start off. All right.
Okay, fair.
So this is my thing. I think it is not good. I don't think it's good for the economy. I don't think it's good for consumers. Right. I think it's good for the workers. Right. Because workers get a bump in their pay. They'll make significantly more money. Right. Um, but
Is it good for the workers though?
I mean, it's good for them as far as like their take home pay. Right. Like on the surface. But I don't think it'll be good for them in the long term. But forget
And
the
so,
workers. I ain't even worried about the workers. I'm worrying about me. I'm worried about the consumer. I'm worried about, listen, McDonald's, right? McDonald's is a huge corporation.
right,
What a lot of people don't know about McDonald's is that all the McDonald's aren't owned by like this big conglomerate. Some of
right,
them are privately owned. I
Right,
can
right,
buy, Joe, me, you, and Heather. Can we get together? We can put our little bit of trinkets together. We can go
right,
buy a McDonald's franchise.
fair.
Right?
Hmm.
And it'll so the McDonald's will so we could all the money will come to us. We would have to buy all our stuff from McDonald's. We have to buy the chicken nuggets, the fries, everything we had to buy from McDonald's. So McDonald's will still profit, right? But
Right,
the money will come to us. We have to buy the materials from McDonald's, but the money will come to us, right?
right.
But so we're just three people put our money together, bought a goddamn McDonald's, right? If we're in California, they put this law in effect, and we gotta pay these workers $6 more than what we were paying them before.
yeah.
Where are we gonna where are we gonna assume that cost, or are we gonna send that shit to the customer? Are we
Okay.
gonna raise the price on our food for the customer to pay for what California thinks that the fast food workers should be making? The smart answer is, hey, you know what? As a business person, hey, guess what? You pass that instead of a Big Mac being $7, right? I don't know how much a Big Mac. I buy Big Macs all the time. I just pay for it. I just suck it up, right? But instead of a Big Mac being $7, a Big Mac will be fucking $8.25 because you have to raise the cost of the goods because you have to pay people more money for the same thing that they were doing before.
Right.
So I don't listen.
Well, okay, I hear what you're saying. I know that when businesses are either taxed, like in Philly, we got a sugar tax a few years
Mm,
ago, and because of that, of course, what businesses will do is they'll pass that expense on to the customer. So,
right,
okay, you want to tax me for sugar? I'm gonna just jack my prices up for
right.
sodas, for
Candy
anything.
bars.
So basically, the consumer has to eat that cost, right?
Yeah,
Because they'll throw it on their items just so they can kind of either keep making that profit or not have a change for them. So I know that businesses do that. It's something that they do. If you increase the minimum wage, you got to pay my workers more. So I'm just gonna you can toss that cost on the consumer. I can see that happening too. So I guess my question, so I mean, the cost of living in Cali has one of the highest cost of livings in the
It's
entire
crazy.
country.
It's crazy.
First and foremost, like let's be real. When I think of Cali, I think of like New York prices, like
Right.
New York State, like all
Yeah.
their cost of living is extremely high. And
Right.
I think San Francisco still is. I know the pandemic hit it hard once the tech bubble burst, that changed. But even then, like places like this, like Bay Area, like it's expensive to live there,
Right.
right? So the average, I was Googling it, the average cost of living in California right now, a lower estimate would be 3,700, high end, maybe 4,400.
Like a
That's
month.
average. That's average. No, this is the month. Like how much it costs to live on a monthly basis
I can believe
in
that. I can believe that.
in California. When you
Right.
do the 20 hours, if you work full time times 40, when you do all that, and even before taxes, it goes to like 4,200. So you're probably going to pay maybe what, three, four. I mean, Cali also has one of the highest tax rates in the damn country.
Right.
So what I'm saying is, with the cost of living and what you're making, I feel like you're barely making what the average cost of living is with $20. This is with the increase. This is this. So this is my thing. Like, if the cost of living is so high, at what point do the people do the people who have to work these jobs, do they get some relief? That's my question. Because there used to be a point where the federal minimum wage was like what, 750, 725. That was
That's
set
real.
during
I think that's
that was I think
real
that was
too.
set under Reagan too.
Right.
Federal minimum wage was like 725 for decades
Right.
while
What
inflation
was the
happened.
question? You asked a question. What was that question?
The question about
At what point what?
at what point do we start caring about like the quality of life or just like how expensive it is to live in a certain place?
For
So if
those people who are flipping burgers, right?
people
Earning this
who
now $20 an hour, right?
people who are
I
working and providing a service, yes, them.
I don't agree that that job or that industry qualifies to earn that much money. I would
Okay.
argue that it's a stepping stone of a position is for younger people getting their foot in the door and getting early on experience, but is not to serve as it is not to serve as the all by all be all, right? Like it's intended to have you grow like from that position and elevate. So if we were to say we're going to pay you all this money to stay in this position, well, how are we helping them by like asking them to like wanting to like grow with them, grow, right? Like evolve from that position. One should not want
Right.
to make a career out of flipping burgers just because it's $20 an hour. You're correct. It doesn't, you can't afford your place, right? But I would argue it doesn't, it's not a $50,000 fucking skill, to be honest with you. It's not like it's 20,000 at best on a bad year or on a good year. Like it's,
Okay.
and then to your second point, you said, oh, you asked a question.
At what point do we stop caring about like quality of life, quality of living, how expensive it is to live? Like just thinking about the people who are working these jobs. That was my
Um,
question.
I, 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 I argue that I want them to do better, right? So let's encourage them to want to step out of that position themselves and work to achieve that. Be it offer them, help with them get some sort of training. They're all over the place for like growth, like different degrees
Right.
of or trades or the like. But I'd argue to keep somebody or want them to stay or encourage them to stay in this position for their life and make a career out of it is negligent and it shouldn't be done.
I agree. I agree.
It shouldn't be made to be easy there. And to your point. So you were talking about inflation and cost of stuff, right? So my argument, my case and point to that is, well, I know veterans and people on disability, they're not getting this raise, right? Their pay is staying the same, right? So during all of this inflation, where do they fall? SOL, they're forced to have to sell their homes.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're forced on the streets. They're hungry. They can't afford anything. Like I know, like my dad is a vet, and this has happened, right? When this new pay increase went up, he like had to fight a bunch of arms and tails to get like a full 100% VA to get his increase. But
Mhm.
without that, the in cost of everything that has since doubled over the last 2.5, 3 years, um, would have killed him. Would have killed him if he would have had a mortgage. It'd have screwed him. Cost of insurance, all the things, right? With this added pay to these people who, it's like I said, not $50,000 worthy, is affecting everybody. It's not good for the economy. It need not happen. Those people need to be encouraged to do better.
So, so I oh, damn. Like it gets real out here, right? Like it gets real. It gets real. I have so about these jobs that are like, I guess, low skill or just like, should be like milestones or stepping stone jobs. Like not wanting, you don't want to. So here's my thing. So remember when Walmart didn't change their minimum wage for a while? People were probably getting 7.25, the federal minimum wage. Walmart hadn't changed for a while. It's only until recently that they pushed it up to like $15, $16 an hour. Remember,
Yeah.
this is before taxes. We're talking hourly, $15 an hour. But prior to that changing, this is my thing. Someone's going to eat this cost, right?
Right.
So if Walmart did not want to increase the wages for their workers, just keep it at the federal minimum wage or keep it at the bare minimum, like 8.50. If they had not changed that, most of the people who worked at Walmart would then probably most likely be on welfare because you don't have enough money or resources working at Walmart that with the hourly wage that they provide that you have to go out and find some kind of supplemental resource. So we push some of the people on the welfare system, and then who eats that cost?
Well,
Taxpayers. And I don't know about y'all, but I pay a shitload of taxes. So I think about where all my money goes because I hate paying taxes. I know we have
You
to.
live in
I pay a
Florida,
lot of
so
taxes.
it's a lot.
I pay a lot of taxes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think about, so now I have to eat that because Walmart, this multi-billion-dollar company, has the money to pay their workers more and they can eat that cost, but they would rather pass it on to the state or to the government or to the taxpayers, and all these people now have to be on welfare. See, that's my, so like a situation like that, it's just like you're worried about not paying workers more because these jobs are like, I don't know, I don't want to call them inferior or low skill or low value. I don't know, I'm looking for the word, right?
Right.
Entry level, just
and
kind of fast
the
food,
life
you know what I
skills
mean?
too,
Things
really.
like that. I don't want to put a stigma or a bad label on it, but it's like if you don't want to pay the workers enough so that they can have a living wage. And remember, $20 an hour in California is not a living wage. It's barely making what the average income is on the lower end. And this is before taxes. This
Right.
cost of living. We're talking about transportation. We're talking about amenities. We're talking not amenities, utilities. We're talking about gas being 5.50 and a gallon in California, one of the highest in the country. So like, if we're not going to pay the workers more, who eats that cost? They funnel people into the welfare system, and then we have to pay for that. And we know there's no accountability in the welfare system. It's so much waste in the welfare
Right.
system. You know what I'm
Let
saying?
me
Like
say this. Let me say this. As I'm gonna
that's
say
just like that's one of my like. How do you like?
right. I'm
I don't want to
assuming
eat
I'm
that
the
cost.
only subject matter expert here, as probably the only person on this panel that used to work at McDonald's as a kid.
Wendy's team.
Hey.
It was so fun too. It was so fun.
So let me say, like when I was working at McDonald's, I was making like 7.25, right? It was my first job, literally my first job, and I was a crew trainer. Basically, like I got the meat off the grill, and I put it in the thing, press a little button or whatever, kept it at a certain temperature. I mean, listen, I did my thing, right? Um, that's not a $20. I mean, I was in Philly, so I wasn't in California, right? So I can't really say so, whatever. But
The skill didn't change. The fundamental didn't change. It's the
no,
burgers
it's
that's
still the
being
same
flipped. Like
job.
it's still,
You press a button, the goddamn grill
it doesn't
lifts
matter
up,
where you are in the world. It's the same process.
and you take it off, whatever. But it's a job for children. It's a job for children. It's
Right.
a
So were you guys okay with like the federal minimum wage before it was changed? It still hasn't actually
Yes,
been
I
changed.
was I was
Were
pretty
you
okay
guys
with it.
okay with 7.25 an hour?
Yes.
With
Okay.
paying
Where I'm
someone
at
that?
850. It was like 850. Yeah.
I didn't
Okay,
know I
I'll
didn't know
take
the
that
thing.
because I'm just saying. Would you guys? Did you guys? Would you find it problematic that some states raise the minimum wage to 15 in their states
So
to
so
help workers?
so I think the states that have adopted it and already implemented it have royally screwed the owner because to make that great of a change that fast could only detriment, like you have to leave a little bit of room and time for the evolution of that to creep up, right? So maybe a quarter here and have it go up. But with that, then I'd argue disability, veterans benefits, all of that has to come with the same type of increase because all the cost of everything else is going to go up. And again, what happens to those folks? Like that's not fair for these um, folks who don't otherwise want to go make better choices for themselves and further their education, thereby leaving our minimum wage right where it's at. It just like I said, it's a ripple effect and it affects everybody. And
So
then
how
you
do you?
said something else, huh?
Oh, no, no, go ahead, go ahead.
Um, it'll come back to me. You said something else.
I was just wondering how you guys define a living wage.
So
How do
I
you
don't
guys
think
define a
I
living
don't think
wage?
the burger flippers should make a living wage. I don't think
That's
they.
crazy.
I don't
Really?
think that they should. No, I don't because
Yeah.
if the living, if you need,
You too, right? So I was like, yeah.
I agree.
I don't think so.
Yo,
I don't think so. I don't
why
think that
not?
that's a job that's worth like okay. If the cost to live in my house if the minimum is $50,000 to live just comfortable, right? Not even on the luxury side. If that's what it takes, and like because okay, what I'm saying is like if you increase that industry, right, and not anybody else's industry, while all about all the other things that have continuously gone up in cost. Okay, like if I made $50 an hour and this person's making $20 an hour, like, and you see what I'm saying? Like my 30 is no longer worth 30. My 30 is maybe worth 22.
Yeah, but if I'm making 20 and someone was making, if I'm making 20 now and someone was making, let's say the 850, the minimum wage, you know what I mean, that you're familiar with, if someone was making 850 and then they changed the minimum wage in my state to $20 and now that person is making just as much as me, it's like at $20, my cost of living was going up too though. Like I'm still like things are going to be expensive anyway because of inflation, because of how expensive stuff is now.
The
Like stuff.
lifestyle that one has when going from one extreme to the other is significant. You go from making six figures and your cost of living is under 30, and then you go to making six figures and your cost of living is now 70. Well, you've had to eliminate a lot of things in your life because of this problem that of cost of everything gone up. Your lifestyle changes, your vacation model changes, everything about life changes when the cost of everything else goes up.
Yeah, but I mean, it's getting ridiculous though. I mean, we feel like we've been having this conversation for so
What is
long.
inflation? Inflation's getting ridiculous.
How expensive? Do you know how much it costs to go to Disney for per person?
Yeah, oh
Let's
yeah,
just let's
way
take
too
Disney
much.
for a perfect example. It's $170.
Why do you think they're all increasing their prices though?
No, no, but but listen to me though. This is how I understand that you have to live within your means. I understand that if you have less income, then you have to either find supplemental income or reduce your cost of living. Like I get that there are things that we have full control over, right? I'm aware of that. But things have become absurdly expensive unnecessarily, in my opinion.
I agree.
And
So do
you
you
know,
think
I think we're at an interesting point in time right now. Like a few months ago, they were saying freaking Wall Street was about to crash. The economy was about to tank. We've been in a recession. Some people say for 2, 3 years now. You know what I mean? Like our economy hasn't been doing the best. Like it really hasn't, and inflation has gone up. The federal bank said we are going to. They've been raising interest rates. Like this is what people's mortgages are going up. Like this, it's more expensive right now to live in America. It really, really is. So I don't know. Like I keep hearing like you got
you know
to tighten your bootstraps and you got to like. But I'm also like I'm just like when do we start addressing the fact that shit is just too fucking expensive? Like is that a valid question? Like things are just ridiculously expensive. How do we bring the cost of living down? You don't want to pay workers more? Fine. But how about you make stuff cheaper then?
fair? I
Why?
agree to that.
If we're getting paid the bare minimum, why is shit still expensive? I don't understand. Like, where's the middle ground? I understand. Okay, I don't want to pay y'all more because then we got to put that on consumers, and then overall everyone has to pay more. VA's got to pay more. Fine, but if I understand that, but like
But they're
I
not.
don't know, man.
They're not.
Where's the middle ground, man?
We in a situation where it's like, I mean, I
I
don't know.
want to pay people. I want to pay people, and I think some people do. I think some see me. We had an issue when we were talking about Target and Target paying their employees a good wage, and like you were just like, I don't want to pay them more. I don't want to increase their cost of living, and I'm just like, bro, why not? They have the money. Some of these companies have the money to do so. It is a drop in the bucket to pay your employees more. At what point is it okay to pay your like? Is there ever a situation where you could pay your employers more, and you guys would see it as a positive thing?
Absolutely.
When and where? Because right now it's all bad. For me, it's like I'm gonna pay workers more. No, bad, red flag. Like when is it okay to pay your workers more? Out of curiosity,
I think
either
it
of you.
depends on their value. I think like so the
Like
whole
when?
the car industry, that the whole strike that went on and all that, and the
And they
union,
won, and they got some concessions, and they
they
got what they
won, right?
wanted.
But the thing is, those workers, those people that put them cars together, those people that assemble them cars, they have a skill, they have a trade that's like valuable to the American economy. Flipping burgers ain't one of them things.
Right.
So
Right.
like I
Bring
don't think that they
value.
should be given those
Absent
kind of
values when cost becomes a
So
problem.
every job, okay, not every job, but let's say hourly jobs. So none of them should pay a living wage.
No, not. I'm not saying that. I'm saying
No, I'm asking because I'm trying
no,
to
no,
like figure
no.
like
I pay my people very, very well. My people make great money. But my people deliver on they produce business, like they bring such great value. I want to pay them more.
Wait,
People
what?
don't.
You work for a chain or?
I'm a real estate agent.
Oh, my
So
bad.
I run my own business. I do my own thing,
Yeah,
and I
yeah.
have a team, and I keep my people very incentivized to keep wanting to do well, so that everybody continues to flourish and grow. I challenge them to do better, and in return, they make more money. Flipping burgers is not a skill, nor does it take any brain work or otherwise to deliver such a high dollar amount, which is going to affect a ripple effect throughout the rest of the economy. No,
Listen,
challenge them to do better. Get out of
These
get out
people
of
are making Big
burgers.
Macs. You understand? Do you understand what a Big Mac is to an American society? Like
I hear
the
you.
cultural impact of
yo,
these
High schoolers
people
pull
are
over big
making
trucks.
Big Macs for y'all. What are y'all
let me
talking
tell you,
about?
let me tell you how Big Mac is made as the subject matter expert.
Yeah,
Okay?
don't
Let me
ruin it
tell you.
for me.
We throw the meat on the grill, right? We put the thing in there.
Bruh.
We fucking squirt a gun, right? That's already has pre-made Big Mac sauce inside the gun. We're not fucking chefing. I never chefed the Big Mac sauce, right? I didn't chop up the pickles or whatever else that yellow shit is. Whatever. Listen, we got to make this quick, right? We cross that barrier. Let me tell
Sorry,
you, making a
sorry.
Big Mac ain't that incredible of a skill. However,
Yo, shout out to my Mickey D's workers, flipping them
Fair,
burgers. Make
fair.
that money. Hopefully,
But
y'all
level
getting that.
up, but level up, but level up.
All right. So we're going to end it here. All right, fam. Listen, let us know what y'all think. Are you guys? I would love to hear from people from California. If you guys are in LA, if this is going to affect you next year, let us know how you feel about this increase. Do you think that companies should be paying their employees more? Are we more worried about the impact that it has on everyone else? The cost of living, cost of goods, cost of service. VA salary stays the same. Other things get more expensive. Like everything that we just talked about. Let us know what you feel about it. Clear. I like that we have differing opinions. You guys have any final thoughts to the?
Oh, no, that was good. I appreciate the
All right.
conversation
All right.
for sure.
Well, thank y'all. Until next time,
no,
guys.
no, wait,
Oh,
wait.
oh, 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 oh.
Like, subscribe, share, comment. Let's make it
All the
happen.
things, all the
Yes.
things.
All the things.
Yes. All
This
the
is a movement. This is a
things.
movement. This is
Let's
ground level.
go.
This is a movement.
All right, y'all.